And welcome back
to Marriage Beyond the Veil. Well, today is the makeup day for yesterday. Yesterday was a jewel.
Yes, and we
were traveling, so I didn't have my book, so I missed it.
Yes, but it's a jewel.
But it's a jewel,
nonetheless.
Yeah.
So what is the jewel for today?
So the jewel for today is Xing the X's.
Xing the X's. Yeah. Okay, let's unpack that, shall we?
Okay, so yesterday we sort of talked about going back. And so when I started thinking about going back, a lot of times you go back, you think about past relationships and all that kind of stuff. But that really what we were talking about. We were talking about just going back in time. But that led me to thinking about Xing the X's or comparisons. And so I think that, comparing your present relationship, your life partner with a relationship that you had in your past is very dangerous. You can get caught into what you believe something was or could have been based on what was going on in that moment and in that time. But take it to now, it probably wouldn't apply.
Well, it's interesting also. Mm-hmm. No matter how difficult things may have been mm-hmm. in a past relationship,
right?
I think more times than not, we think about the good things, mm-hmm. right?
Yeah.
And Billy Joel has a song, "Keeping the Faith."
Okay.
He says, "The good old days weren't always good, and tomorrow's not as bad as it seems."
Okay.
And so when you think about the good old days, mm-hmm. There are a lot of people that want to go back to the good old days, but they don't really remember in the good old days all of the things that were not good
that was
going on.
Yeah, that's true.
And just be mindful, for those of you with your exes, they're exes for a reason.
Say that.
It's not to say that these persons don't have redeeming value, mm-hmm. that they didn't do wonderful things, but the relationship did not continue
for a reason.
Mm-hmm. And but to make a comparison mm-hmm. with your spouse today, your loved one today, in comparison to, well, so and so used to do this, mm-hmm. or you don't do this as well as so.
Right.
Doesn't matter. So and so is not here, mm-hmm. right? I think that not only is that not beneficial, but it's also disrespectful and insensitive.
It is, definitely. Yeah. Just as a rule of thumb, when you're making comparisons, 9 times out of 10, people don't compare apples to apples.
Right.
And that's why people always say, well, compare apples to apples, because most time people do not.
Well, and when, let's say this was a relationship 20 years ago, 10 years ago, mm-hmm. that person that you are considering mm-hmm. more than likely is not the same person today.
Right, exactly.
Neither are you.
Exactly. Hopefully you've grown.
Yeah.
In some shape, form, or fashion.
And hopefully you grew in a positive way.
Yes.
Because there's growth in negativity as well. Yeah. And, so I think that's an excellent point, the apples to apples thing, mm-hmm. because, okay, if you're comparing let's mm-hmm. take you, a 61-year-old Fred.
Right.
With a 30-year-old fill in the blank.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Come on. Or, by the same token, you're going to take a lovely gal at her age.
Right.
Right. Compared to the gal of 20.
Right.
Again, you're not making a legitimate comparison. Mm-mm. Because there's so much more that has to be factored into that. But keeping the X's, what did you say?
Xing the X's.
Keep Xing the X's.
Mm-hmm.
Long and short of it, whoever this person that you used to be with, mm-hmm. you're no longer with them. And again, this is where I have to borrow a page from my good friend Elsa from Frozen. Mm-hmm. Let it go.
Let it go.
Until tomorrow, if the Lord says the same.
Have a good evening.